Okay, welcome to part 2, and we're going to start to draw over this guideline face with our pen tool. So press P if you fancy a shortcut, or just click on the pen tool icon and we'll begin to start drawing a path. Now make sure that you've got this icon up here clicked, which is the path icon. If you don't, if you have the default icon, then when you start drawing, click, 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 it will draw a filled vector shape, which is no use to us at this stage. So let's check this box here, and we're ready to start drawing paths. So let's just zoom right in. I'm a bit alarmed that this reminds me of a giant Tony Blair on a hillside, which is a very scary thought indeed. So I'm trying to ignore that thought now that I've just had it. As you draw the anchor points, you get a line between them, which is the path itself, and you can actually click as you're drawing and hold the mouse down and curve the path, so you can actually create some quite nice stylized curved lines. I'm just going to take that up and round to do the eyebrow. Now bear in mind you're simulating somebody carving out the top layer of turf from the hill to create a hole basically to the chalk layer, because they're sort of chalky down hills these, and that's not going to be an easy job, so try not to make it too smooth, the curves that you're drawing. It would be quite a difficult task to actually seriously carve a face into a hill or a giant chalk horse. If you want to see the horse in question, the one I'm sort of being inspired by, then go to wiltshirehorses.org, sorry, wiltshirewhitehorse.org UK, and you can see some of the British white horses that are sticking around on all the hills. Okay, I'm just doing the other eyebrow now, and as we add to the path, I'll just quickly go to the paths palette, and you can see that we're drawing and adding, and the more we add, the more it will appear on that path there. So we can just click and add to the selection quite happily, knowing that we're building up the path. Okay, let's just pick in the eye here. No, you don't need to spend a huge amount of time drawing your outline, because it is going to be quite stylized, but it's going to work quite well, this effect, once we actually start to fill it with white, as I'll show you in a tick. I'll also show you some more advanced options here with the pen tool, or a good way of creating the mouth once that's been outlined like this. I'm going to do that at the very end. So you can basically create any shape you want. I mean, traditionally it's been animals facing left to right. The Uffington white horse is the only one that's going from... No, it's actually facing the other way. I can't remember which way around it is now, but I don't suppose it matters hugely to us. Let's just bring in the hairline here. If things get in the way, hit tab, and that hides all the floating windows, which is a very handy tip. So you can actually select things that would have been hidden underneath. Now for the hairline, I'm actually going to create some sharp, exaggerated curves here, like so. Let's just do some more here. And these will look quite good once we've embossed them. We're going to actually use the emboss option to actually get a 3D effect here, because at the moment it's going to just look like a filled 2D shape. So it's going to be much more effective. Let's just curve round and create the ear like so. Okay, and finally let's just pop in a bit of the chin before we fill in the teeth with some more detail. So you're hinting at shape here by, oops, Command Z. If you want to make a mistake, just hit Command Z and it'll undo the last anchor point. And you're completing all of these paths by clicking on the very first point with the very last point, like so. And let's just have a little hint of an ear here as well. You can, of course, add to existing anchor points. If you wanted to add more detail, you could just click and place more points, and then if you use the direct select tool or the path selection tool, you can adjust different sections there. So you can fine tune your path once you've made it just by grabbing any of the anchor points here. So feel free to blast out a path to start with before you start to fine tune it. You can add, subtract points. You can also grab existing handles and curve things around. If you think things aren't quite working, then you can adjust it that way. The other thing I'm going to do is go back to the pen tool again and choose the subtract from selection option. Let's have a look at the path. There it is. You can see it filling out there now. For the teeth here, what I want to do is just create a hole, and I'm adding another path within the existing path. Just creating little curves here to hint at the presence of molars. Okay, let's pop around like so, and there's the path finished. Right, let's right click here. Oops, get the dock out of the way. Make selection. Now feather, you want a bit of a feather, you want a bit of a soft edge, but not too much of a soft edge. So on Photoshop CS, as I move over feather radius, you can see a little arrow appear, and as I drag I can go left and right to increase the value. Alternatively, I can select this and use the scroll wheel on my mouse to move up and down, or you can just type in a value. So about 1.8 should do, not something that's too soft, maybe 1.5 actually. Click OK, and there is the selection. So let's move back now to our layer here, and oh, I forgot to add the chalk layer there. I've already added it in the first movie, but I've been experimenting, rehearsing, and I accidentally deleted it. There we go, there's the chalk layer. So what we need to do now is to fill the selection we've just created with white. So edit, fill, white. Okay, click OK, and there you go. So we can now hide the face, Command D or Control D on the PC to deselect, and then Control minus or Command minus to zoom out, and we've got the beginning of the face there. Okay, so see if you can get to this stage, and in the next step what we'll do is we'll start to create a 3D effect and actually make it look like it's chiseled into the hillside. See you then.